Welcome back to day 12. Let's be honest for a second. It is so easy to read this Bible and think that wisdom or the big concept of it is some abstract design for pastors or theologians. But the truth of the matter is, the beauty of it all is that Proverbs 12 doesn't care about titles. It cares about real life. It cares about how you react, how you show up, what you do when your kids spill the milk. What do you do when your coworker who gets on your last nerves is driving you crazy again? Proverbs 12 cares who you are and what you tell yourself when you look in the mirror and you don't feel like you're enough. Today, we're going to look at how God's wisdom shows us in our everyday, actual living, our everyday routines, how we can apply this word. So, if you've been feeling a little bit overwhelmed lately, tired, or feeling like you're constantly spinning, your wheels are just going, pull up a chair. This one's for you. I want you to take a minute, grab your coffee, grab your tea, grab your water, get your Bible open, grab your notebook, and let's talk about how to stop chasing fantasies, how to quiet our thoughts when you're consumed with anxiety, and how to build a life to a quieted strength. I am Dr. Autumn Bear, and each day we are walking in wisdom through the book of Proverbs. One chapter a day, every day this week, all 31 days. We're doing this to uncover practical wisdom that we can apply in our everyday life. It's wisdom for our faith. It's wisdom for our friendships. It's wisdom for our businesses. Outside of our virtual gatherings, I'm Christian business strategist, educator, and founder of Lens Squared Consulting. This is the place where I get to consult women and help them partner with God to do life and business better. If you're ready to get into this word, let's begin and delve into Proverbs 12. Today, I will be reading from the New Living Translation. This word is for you. It doesn't matter what version you read, but allow the pages to speak to thee. Let me pause for a second before we get into the word. How are you? Honestly, how are you? Are you keeping up with the readings? Are you staying committed to what you said you would do? Are you being consistent and graceful? Make sure those measures matter as well. But let's get into it. The word says, to learn, you must love discipline. It is stupid to hate correction. The Lord approves of those who are good, but he condemns those who plan wickedness. That's a word for us already. It goes on to say in verse 3, wickedness never brings stability, but the godly have deep roots. The word says a worldly wife is a crown for her husband, but a disgraceful woman is like cancer in his bones. The plans of the godly are just. The advice of the wicked is treacherous. Listen, these words are walking us down Wisdom Street. Verse 6 goes on to read, the words of the wicked are like a murderous ambush, but the words of a godly save lives. The wicked die and disappear, but the family of the godly stands firm. It continues to say that A sensible person wins admiration, but a warped mind is despised. Better to be an ordinary person with a servant than to be self-important but have no food. Let these words sit with you today. Receive what it's calling you to get. Verse 10 says, "The godly care for their animals, but the wicked are always cool. A hard worker has plenty of food, but a person who chases fantasies has no sense at all." I'm adding that. Number 12 says, "Eves are jealous of each other's fruit, but the godly are well rooted and bear their own fruit." The wicked are trapped. They're trapped by their own words. But the godly escape such trouble. Verse 14 goes on to read, "Wise words bring many benefits, and hard work brings for wise words bring many benefits, and hard work brings reward. Fools think their own way is right, but the wise listen to others." It says a fool is quick-tempered, but a wise person stays calm. A wise person stays calm when insulted, right? We talked about that neighbor, that coworker. 17 says, "An honest witness tells the truth, a false witness tells lies." Some people make cutting remarks, but the words of the wise bring healing. It goes on to say in 19, "Truthful words set the test of time." Truthful words stand the test of time, but lies are soon exposed. Deceit fills hearts. Deceit fills hearts that are plotting evil. Joy fills hearts that are planning peace. No harm comes to the godly, but the wicked have their fill of trouble. 22 says, "The Lord detests lying lips, but he delights in those who tell the truth." The wise don't make a show of their knowledge, but fools broadcast their foolishness. Work hard and become a leader. That's the word God to do. Work hard and become a leader. Be lazy and become a slave. Worry weights a person down. An encouraging word cheers a person up. The godly gives good advice to their friends. The wicked, however, leads their friends astray. Lazy people don't even cook the game they catch. But the diligent make use of everything they find. Everything. They use their resources wisely. The word continues in 28 and it says, "The way of the godly lead to life. The path does not lead to death." That's the word of the Lord. So let's get into the 3 key takeaways. The first thing, it says stop chasing fantasies. Water your own grass. The word said, Those who work their land will have abundant food, but those who chase fantasies have no sense at all. We live in a world today. We live in a world of endless scroll. Endless. It takes a toll on us. It takes about 3 seconds of looking at social media to start chasing a fantasy, someone else's life. We see someone else's beautifully organized pantry. We see their perfect vacation photos. We see their seamless, seemingly effortless business. And then we start wishing for their life instead of the life God has gifted us. What the word teaches us in wisdom today is it teaches us to water our own grass. Water your own grass today. What is the land that God has put in your hands today? Is it your current job? Is it your home? Is it your kids? Is it your budget? Abundance doesn't come from wishing you had someone else's fit. It comes from faithful doing. It comes from faithfully watering. It comes from you being faithful and tending to the exact patch of dirt that the Lord has given. When you stop looking over the fence and start looking at your own land, that's when your harvest begins to show up. That's our first takeaway. Our second takeaway from your word today is simple: the gift of being teachable. This is what it gives us, right? Verse 1 was blunt, but we needed to hear it. It says, whoever loves discipline loves knowledge, but whoever hates correction is stupid, foolish. None of us like to be told when we're wrong. None of us, me yesterday, none of us like to be told when we're wrong. It bruises our ego, it hurts our feelings, it makes us feel defensive. But the Bible reminds us that being teachable is actually a superpower. I invite you to have a teachable spirit today. When someone gives you honest feedback, whether it's a spouse, a friend, a boss, you have two choices. We can get defensive and shut down, or we can take a breath and say to ourselves, is there something here? Is there some truth here that can help me grow? Correction is not rejection, and we have to stop seeing it in that light. It's just God's way of polishing us. A wise woman loves to learn because she knows that being teachable is the only way to get better. It is how they overspoon. That's the second takeaway. Have a teachable spirit. The third thing this word teaches us today is that we want to choose consistency over intensity. Right? The word said in 24, it said, diligent hands will reap, but laziness ends in forced labor. Sometimes we think we need to make these giant, dramatic, grandstanding shifts to change our lives. But the real change happens in the small, boring, everyday choices that we make. Diligence is simply a fancy word for you showing up. That's what it means. Be present, show up, do the work. It's the doing the laundry instead of allowing it to pile up for weeks. It's sending that one email, that one follow-up. It's spending 10 minutes in prayer when you'd rather hit the snooze button. It's reading Proverbs daily when you prioritize everything else. When we are diligent in our calling, we create room to breathe. But when we procrastinate and we start to let things go, we end up being forced into late, right? This just means we're constantly stressed. We're constantly rushing. We're constantly reacting and overreacting to simple daily living. Shift your mindset, your thinking, and your action to a place of consistency, because that is what will open doors for you that talent alone will never be able to do. Our fourth takeaway, it just teaches us about the power of a kind word, right? This is about a closeness to our language. Verse 25 looked at how our words carry weight. It said, anxiety weighs down the heart, but a kind word cheers it up. If you've ever carried the cloak of anxiety, you know it is heavy. It physically makes our shoulders tight. It makes our heart feel crowded and grieved. But notice how God tells us to fight it. Proverbs says, he doesn't say work hard. You'll figure it out. He says a kind word lifts the weight. You are empowered to change the atmosphere within you. You're empowered to change the atmosphere within your home, your workplace today, simply by releasing kind words. And let's be honest, sometimes the person who needs that kind word the most is you. What are you saying to yourself? Stop speaking so harshly to yourself. Stop being so hard on yourself about what you didn't get done today. Give yourself some grace. Speak words of life. Speak words of peace. Speak words of trust over yourself. And watch the heaviness of the burden. Watch the heavy weight start to lift off of you. That's my word. Let me leave you with your action step today. This is where the work comes into play. The practical application of what we're doing. Today, on day 12, as you go about your day, I want you to focus on just one thing, just flying. And that is simply to work your lead, to work your own gift, your own plot, and speak kind words into yourself. Let's put down the comparison theory. Let's stop chasing your fantasy of what could be, what could have been, and let's love the life that is right in front of us. Before you leave this space today, I want you to take a moment just to reflect on what God has revealed to you through Proverbs 12. As I mentioned before, wisdom is not just something we hear. It's not just something we read. Wisdom must be applied, and it must be applied to our everyday life. Choose one principle from today's teaching and then intentionally put it into practice. That's what you have to do. That's how this starts to work in your life. That's how you begin to see a shift and a change. If you'd like to, I invite you to share your biggest takeaway in the comments. As always, I invite you to share this with another woman. That's how we grow this community. That's how we carry one another. That's how we create a lighter burden in our faith, in our life, in our businesses. If you haven't already, subscribe, follow. That way you can continue this walk, continue this learning, stay tapped into this teaching. And then just remember that God's wisdom will help you read boldly. It will help you live boldly. It will help you build wisely, and it will help you prosper in purpose. That's my word for today. I will see you in the next chapter. If you want to connect with me, that information is always in the description. There will be links. I'm in contact information. I do my very best to make myself available to you in both service and surrender. Um, that's all I have for you. I ask that God will just continue to bless you as you move forward on this journey. And I pray that you stay committed. Your breakthrough is connected to your commitment to your calling. Have an amazing day.